Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. So in this video we will be discussing about will Sri Lanka actually go bankrupt in 2022 and what are the factors because of which people are betting that it will actually go bankrupt. So for that we will need to see what are the factors because of which Sri Lanka is going to go bankrupt. Why are people saying so? So you need to understand the first and foremost thing is that the tourism industry, so the revenue from tourism industry represents 10% of GDP of Sri Lanka. And in COVID restrictions, this was the industry which got impacted and their revenues were dropped drastically because of which they faced a forex reserve shortage, and then you can see the difference. So in 2019 they had 7.5 billion of dollars in foreign reserves, and in 2021 they had 2.8 billion. So one third, almost one third of the reserves in 2021 were there, and because of which they had to buy the foreign reserve, they had to spend even more. The currency of Sri Lanka depreciated by 8%, and still they had to import the basic food supplies, because of which the food prices increased, and all this when Sri Lanka had already depreciated its currency. So this is how the problem actually escalates. Now let me give you a brief background of about the chain of events. So revenue from tourism industry went down, the foreign exchange reserves went down because of it. Then they had to buy the foreign exchange reserves and then their currency depreciated by 8%. They were still importing the food supplies along with depreciating currency, which was a further pain, and now the food prices also went up and they declared an economic emergency. So, after declaring the economic emergency, what were the various steps taken by the government? So, they allowed the army to seize the food from the traders. They had to buy the credit to import foods, medicines, and fuel from its neighboring allies, which were India as well as many other countries. Now, next was they held some currency swaps from India, China, and Bangladesh, and some loans to purchase petroleum from Oman. And all this credit, all the loans were at a higher interest rate. So this is what added to the Sri Lanka's debt load. So now talking about the debt load, it is said that the cumulative foreign currency debt amounts to $26 billion from 2022 through 2026. And in this year alone, it has to make a payment of $6.9 billion. So do you think Sri Lanka will be able to pay this $6.9 billion in such a situation where its tourism industry hasn't recovered yet? So this is the point I wanted to make. So it's difficult for Sri Lanka to pay back the debt. So what are some of the things that Sri Lanka can do? And before going ahead, you need to take into consideration that their sovereign rating has already been downgraded. They have been excluded from capital markets, and in order to gain that capital market access back, they will have to, pay the premium again. So no capital market access, the downgraded sovereign rating. Now, which will be the third step? So the third step can be they can restructure their foreign debt. And right now, the other countries are trying to see how will it restructure their foreign debt. So just to give you a background about restructuring the debt, so you must have come across this case of Voda Idea converting its debt to equity and giving it to the government. So this is an example of restructuring the debt where you make some arrangements to convert your debt into something else or modifying the conditions somehow. So this is what Sri Lanka will also be doing. It will be restructuring the debt, and this is the last resort it has. And also, it might look difficult for Sri Lanka to pay back the debt, but in the past itself, we have seen that Sri Lanka has always paid its loan back to the countries, whatever it has, you know, taken the loan. It has always paid back the amount. So it's the credibility of Sri Lanka that and the goodwill that they have earned in the countries itself. And now the next step is about restructuring the debt, and we will be seeing how Sri Lanka will do it. So if you have liked my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I also post daily mint analysis, and in case you want to see that, please subscribe to my channel and join my Telegram group for the latest updates. Thank you so much.